When it comes to dating and relationships, trust is the cornerstone of any healthy marriage. But what happens when you start to notice cracks in that foundation? If you're here, you might already be sensing that something is off with your wife. The signs might be subtle at first: a sudden change in behavior, a shift in the way she interacts with you, or unexplained absences. Sometimes, these signs can point to infidelity, and ignoring them won't make them go away. Instead, it's important to recognize these red flags for what they are so you can address the situation head on. The first sign to watch for is a sudden increase in secrecy. If your wife starts guarding her phone like a hawk, changing passwords, or taking calls in private, this could be a warning sign. While privacy is healthy in any relationship, an abrupt shift in her openness may signal that she's hiding something. You might notice her texting more frequently, but quickly putting her phone away when you enter the room. This kind of behavior isn't always about cheating, but it's worth paying attention to if it comes out of nowhere. Another potential red flag is emotional distance. If your wife seems less interested in connecting with you, whether it's through conversation, intimacy, or shared activities, it could indicate that her attention is elsewhere. Emotional withdrawal can be a slow process, but over time, it creates a noticeable gap in the relationship. If she's not as engaged or responsive as she used to be, it might be time to dig deeper into what's going on beneath the surface. Changes in her appearance are another clue. It's normal for people to want to look good, but if your wife suddenly starts dressing up more than usual, wearing makeup daily, or hitting the gym without a clear reason, it could be a sign that she's trying to impress someone else. This isn't about jumping to conclusions, but rather noticing patterns. If her efforts to look her best coincide with new, unexplained habits, it's worth asking yourself why. You might also observe changes in her schedule. Frequent late nights at work, sudden business trips, or unexplained absences are classic signs of infidelity. It's not just the time away that's suspicious, it's the lack of clear explanations. If her stories don't add up, or she seems evasive when you ask about her plans, these are details you shouldn't ignore. Lying about her whereabouts, even if it seems harmless, can be a way to cover up inappropriate behavior. Another sign to consider is her attitude toward you. If your wife becomes overly critical or starts picking fights, this could be her way of justifying her actions to herself. By focusing on your flaws or creating conflict, she might be trying to deflect her own guilt. Alternatively, she might shower you with unexpected kindness or gifts to ease her conscience, a behavior known as guilt gifting. Pay attention to sudden changes in how she treats you, whether it's overly negative or suspiciously positive. Your gut feeling is another powerful tool. Sometimes you just know when something isn't right. Intuition often picks up on subtle cues that your conscious mind might miss. If you've noticed several small changes that don't seem connected, your instincts might be telling you to look closer. While it's important not to act solely on a feeling, ignoring your intuition can leave you blindsided later. Social media activity can also provide clues. If your wife is spending more time online, posting more selfies, or suddenly becoming active on platforms she rarely used before, this could be significant. Pay attention to who she interacts with and how. Excessive liking or commenting on someone's posts might not mean anything on its own, but combined with other signs, it could point to something more serious. Financial habits are another area to watch. Unexplained expenses, such as hotel stays, gifts, or extra cash withdrawals, can indicate infidelity. If you notice strange charges on credit card statements or an increase in her spending that she can't account for, it's worth investigating. Money often leaves a trail, and unexpected expenses can sometimes reveal what words don't. Sexual behavior might also change. Some women pull back from physical intimacy when they're cheating, while others might suddenly become more adventurous in the bedroom. These shifts can be confusing, but they often point to changes in her emotional or physical connections. If her behavior feels out of character, it's important to take note and, if possible, have an open conversation about it. Lastly, new friends or social circles can be a clue. If your wife starts hanging out with people you've never met or becomes vague about who she's spending time with, this could be another sign. It's normal to make new friends, but secrecy around these relationships can be a cause for concern. You might notice her mentioning someone repeatedly or acting defensive when you ask about them. A key takeaway here is that patterns matter more than isolated incidents. One or two changes in behavior might not mean much, but when you notice several signs aligning, it's time to pay attention. Another insight is the importance of communication. While it might feel uncomfortable, addressing your concerns directly with your wife is often the best way to get clarity. Avoid accusations and focus on how you feel. For example, instead of saying, "I think you're cheating," you could say, "I feel like we've been disconnected lately, and I want to understand why." Trust is the foundation of every relationship, and when it's broken, rebuilding it takes effort from both partners. If you confirm your suspicions, the next step is deciding what you want moving forward. Whether that means seeking counseling, working through the betrayal, or parting ways, the choice should align with your values and what's best for your well-being. Infidelity is painful, but it's not the end of the story unless you choose to make it so. Understanding the dynamics of dating and relationships is a lifelong journey. Every challenge, including the possibility of infidelity, offers an opportunity for growth. Whether it's improving communication, addressing unmet needs, or learning to trust again, each step you take brings you closer to a healthier, more fulfilling connection. Trust your instincts, pay attention to the signs, and remember that you deserve honesty and respect in your marriage.